Imagine this for a moment. You're sitting quietly, thinking about all the things you've been through. The heartbreaks, the betrayals, the failures, the rejections, the sleepless nights. And somewhere deep inside, a voice asks, why me? Why did you have to go through so much pain? Why did life hit you when you were already on your knees? Why did the people you trusted walk away when you needed them most? But what if I told you nothing was ever wasted? What if I told you every pain, every loss, every fall was a sacred step on your path to becoming your highest self? Welcome to Wisdom of Sparks, where we unravel life's deepest mysteries through Buddhist philosophy. And in today's video, I'm going to tell you why everything you went through has a purpose. Yes, everything. But listen, don't just passively hear this video, feel it. Because it's going to heal something inside you. It's going to remind you that you were never broken. You were being reshaped. Let's begin with a story, one that echoes across the ancient monasteries of Tibet. There was once a monk named Tenzin, a quiet, humble soul who spent decades in silence, meditating in the harshest conditions, alone in the cold caves of the Himalayas. People thought he was punishing himself. They whispered, why would anyone choose such a hard path? But Tenzin would smile and say, the hardship was my teacher, the silence was my wisdom, the cold was my friend, I didn't suffer, I evolved. The Buddha once said, as a lotus flower is born in muddy water, yet rises and blossoms above the murk to achieve enlightenment, so too can we rise above our past. The pain you felt was not pointless. The suffering you endured was not random. The setbacks you faced were not mistakes. They were lessons, initiations, and sacred fires that burned away your ego, your illusions, and everything that was not meant to stay. But why does Buddhism teach us that everything happens for a reason? Because in Buddhism, life isn't happening to you, it's happening for you. Every experience is karma unfolding, not as punishment, but as an opportunity to grow. In the Dhammapada, it is written, all that we are is the result of what we have thought. The mind is everything, what we think we become. And that includes your struggles. They weren't just events, they were calls to awaken. When the universe wanted you to break free from attachment, it didn't send comfort, it sent discomfort. When it wanted you to learn compassion, it didn't give you joy, it gave you suffering to understand what others feel. When it wanted you to know your inner strength, it didn't give you success, it gave you failure so you'd fight for yourself. Do you feel like you lost people you deeply loved? It's okay. Buddhism reminds us of anicca, the law of impermanence. Everything in life is temporary, even pain, even joy, even relationships. People come and go not to hurt you, but to teach you. Each soul that crossed your path was like a mirror. Some showed you your light, some reflected your wounds. But all of them were sent to help you grow, not to stay forever, but to shape your forever. Here's the truth no one told you. Sometimes the greatest blessings come in the form of heartbreaks. Sometimes your true path is hidden under rubble, and the universe had to shake your world just to make you look. And that's not weakness, that's awakening. In Buddhist teachings, there's a concept called dukkha, often translated as suffering, but it means more. It's the unsatisfactoriness of life, the longing, the incompleteness, the pain we try to avoid. But here's the twist. Dukkha is not the enemy, dukkha is the doorway. Through it, we learn detachment. Through it, we find peace. Through it, we realize nothing outside of us can complete us. So why did you go through all of it? Because you had to. Because your soul made a sacred contract before it came here. To experience certain pains, to meet certain people, to walk certain paths, not for punishment, but for evolution. And now here you are. Not broken, not lost, but becoming. Everything you went through gave you the eyes to see the truth, the heart to feel others' pain, and the wisdom to guide others. So my dear soul watching this, maybe you're still healing, maybe you're still confused, maybe you're still wondering why it all happened. But trust me, from this moment on, you'll begin to see how it all connects, how every fall made you stronger, how every ending carved space for a beginning, how every pain built your path to peace. This is not just a video, it's a reclamation of your purpose. So stay with me till the end, because in the next moments, we're diving even deeper into how Buddhist wisdom teaches us to transform our suffering into enlightenment. how to take the ashes of your past and build a new, unshakable inner temple. And before we continue, if this resonates with you, please like, share, and subscribe to Wisdom of Sparks. Together, let's spread this ancient light across the world. Now, let's go even deeper, because what comes next will change how you look at your entire past and your future. The deep inner meaning of all your struggles, a Buddhist lens on purpose, pain, and awakening. Now that you've been reminded that everything you went through has meaning, let's travel deeper into the layers beneath your pain, your confusion, and your soul's evolution. 1. The Noble Truths, the map behind your suffering. Buddha's path begins with an understanding of the 4 Noble Truths. And if you've ever wondered why life hurts sometimes, this is the foundation that explains it. First Noble Truth, dukkha, life is suffering. The truth is that pain exists. It's part of being human, not because the world is cruel, but because we're born with desires and attachments that inevitably break our hearts. You wanted them to stay, they left. You wanted it to last, it ended. You expected success, you failed. But that suffering isn't personal. It's universal, you're not alone. Second Noble Truth, samudaya, origin of suffering. Suffering arises from attachment, craving, and ignorance. We suffer when we cling, when we want control, when we resist what is. That's why you felt broken. You were holding on too tightly to what was never yours to keep. Third Noble Truth, nirodha, cessation of suffering. There is an end to suffering, but not by changing the world, by changing your relationship with it. You can end the pain by releasing the grip, surrendering to the flow, and understanding that everything is impermanent. Fourth Noble Truth, magga, the path. And this path, the Eightfold Path, gives you the tools to walk in peace, not in chaos. It's not magic, it's mindfulness. It's right intention, right speech, right action, right view. 2. Karma, not punishment, but purpose. You've been told that karma is punishment, that if bad things happen, you must have done something wrong. But that's not Buddhism, that's fear. Buddha taught that karma means action. Your current reality is the result of past thoughts, past decisions, and even past lives. But here's the beauty. You are not a victim. You are a participant in your soul's evolution. You were born into this life to fulfill something only you could. And for that to happen, you needed certain experiences. You needed that heartbreak. You needed to be left. You needed to fall, not because it was fair, but because it was your soul's agreement. Each moment of suffering was a chance to break a karmic cycle, to grow from unconsciousness to consciousness. Buddha said, just as the ocean has only one taste, the taste of salt, so too does my teaching have one taste, the taste of liberation. 3. Your pain is not your identity, it's your passive. Many people stay stuck because they begin to identify with their pain. I am a failure. I am unlovable. I am broken. But Buddhism says, you are not your story. Your story is just the vehicle. You are the awareness behind the story. Imagine a candle burning in the dark. The flame flickers, the wax melts, but the light remains. That's you, the light. What you went through wasn't meant to define you. It was meant to refine you. 4. The mirror of others, why people hurt us. Some of the deepest pain comes from other people. A friend betrays us. A lover cheats. A parent abandons. A stranger humiliates. And in those moments we ask, why would they do this to me? Buddhism teaches us something revolutionary. Every person is a mirror showing you something about yourself. Not that you deserved their cruelty, but that their presence revealed something you needed to face. A wound, a lesson, a hidden strength. Forgiveness in Buddhism doesn't mean excusing them. It means releasing yourself. It means understanding their actions came from their own ignorance, not your worth. The Buddha said, holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. Let go not for them, but for you. 5. The role of loneliness, solitude as the soil of growth. Have you ever felt so alone, you wondered if anyone even cared? Here's the paradox. Buddhism says that true spiritual awakening often happens in isolation. When the distractions fall away, when there's no one left to lean on, it is in that silence you hear the voice of your soul. It is in that emptiness that something greater is born. The Buddha left his palace, his comforts, even his family, to sit alone under a tree. And in that stillness, he saw the truth of all things. Your loneliness wasn't a punishment, it was a portal. 6. Loss, the great awakener. You lost money, you lost time. You lost people, you lost dreams. But what did you gain? Perspective, inner strength, detachment, a spiritual hunger that success never gave you. Buddhism teaches, everything that rises falls, everything that begins ends. So when something is taken from you, it doesn't mean your life is over. It means a new version of you is being born. 7. Resilience, the bamboo wisdom. In Japan, there's a saying, the bamboo that bends is stronger than the oak that resists. Buddhist resilience isn't about force, it's about flow. You bend, you don't break, you fall. You rise, you suffer, you awaken. Each time life knocked you down, you gain something no book could teach. Compassion, humility, wisdom, these qualities can't be bought. They're earned through living, hurting, healing. 8. Finding meaning in the midst of pain. This is perhaps the greatest teaching. Nothing you went through was meaningless, but meaning isn't found automatically. You must create it. Ask yourself, what did this pain teach me? Who did it help me become? How can I use this to help others? That's purpose, that's dharma, that's awakening. 9. Meditation, the mirror of the soul. If you're still carrying pain, sit with it. Not in resistance, but in awareness. Meditation isn't about escaping life. It's about seeing life clearly. As you breathe, your memories will rise. Your wounds will appear, but instead of running, you simply observe. And slowly the pain transforms. It loses its power. You stop being a prisoner, you become the witness. 10. The lotus path, rising from the mud. The lotus is the most sacred symbol in Buddhism. It grows in the mud, in the darkness, in the filth, but it rises clean, untouched, glorious. Your past is your mud. Your trauma is the soil, your pain is the water. Take a deep breath. Right now, pause for a moment. Think about your life, all the tears you've cried, all the nights you lay awake wondering if it's all worth it, all the times you were forced to walk alone. Now look at yourself. You're still here. You're still breathing. You're still learning. You're still becoming. That is not weakness. That is power. That is transformation. In the teachings of Buddha, we're reminded again and again that nothing is wasted. Not your pain, not your mistakes, not even your darkest moments. Because from a spiritual perspective, what looks like destruction is actually reconstruction. What looks like being lost is the soul recalibrating its path. What looks like emptiness is the womb of rebirth. You were never broken, only breaking open. There is a Zen saying, the wound is where the light enters you. And now can you feel it? That light entering you. It's soft, it's silent, but it's real. Everything you went through was preparing you, not to harden your heart, but to open it wide, to love more deeply, to understand more compassionately, to live more presently. The Buddhist way forward. So where do you go from here? You walk forward not as a victim of life, but as a student of it. You walk with awareness, understanding that every moment is a message, every person a teacher, every obstacle a lesson. You start choosing peace over and over again. You let go not because it's easy, but because you're finally ready to trust the flow. You embrace impermanence, not with fear but with freedom. You realize that the version of you who suffered was just the beginning. What's coming next is the real you. From Wisdom of Sparks to you. If this video touched your heart, helped you understand your past better, or reminded you of your strength, then this is your sign to subscribe to Wisdom of Sparks. Because here we don't just share teachings, we share healing. We don't just explore Buddhism, we explore the truth of your soul. So if you're walking through something heavy right now, just remember, you were never being punished. You were being purified. You were never left behind. You were being realigned. You were never lost. You were simply being redirected toward your purpose. Now I invite you, if any part of this message resonated with you, comment below. Everything I went through was part of my becoming. Let's create a space of healing for everyone reading. And remember, the storm didn't break you. It woke you. Now go and shine with that awakened light.